2008, I met Helima.
Ooh. Okay, let's just before we meet Halima, has the transition from Centum to, has it started being called Centum? Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, because that happened.
Yet.
Okay,
so that happened in 2008.
Okay, yes.
That happened.
So let's first talk about the big one. So you meet Halima.
So I was studying for CFA. It was just around the exam time. And this friend of mine is like, hey, please come for this bash. You must come. So I said, I can't make it. I'm under so much pressure. I have not had time to revise, you know. And he was like, man, just try. Even if it's to be the last person to show up, just come. It's called Patrick. So I showed up somewhere in Garden Estate, Thome. And I enter this compound and I find this table where people were serving juices. And there was no one on the table because I was like the last guy. It's 4 p.m. in the evening. So I go there. I'm a bachelor, man. Things were tough, so I need juice fast.
Do you have your moti?
No moti, by the way.
Not yet.
I had 2008.
Yes.
No, I hadn't. I was just in the process.
Okay.
So, as I'm serving my juice, I see someone opposite. And I'm like, okay. I lift up my head and I see this lady who was smiling and I said, hi, I'm Pius. And she says, I'm Helima. I'm like, wow, that's a beautiful name. I'm like, Allah. She takes her juice and walks away with a smile, of course. And I don't know, I just had this thought, this girl is 22 years old. There's no way I can even think about, you know. But somehow I had some thoughts. I had some thoughts. What I didn't know is that the whole reason why people wanted me to come.
To set you up.
Because they thought Helima and I would make a very good couple. But now they didn't even get to introduce us. We met by ourselves naturally. So they are watching from afar. They're like, Allah, these guys are already met.
So even Helima doesn't know that they're trying to hook you guys up?
No, I don't think so. So I said, okay. I pick my juice and I go and stand where there was a group of guys. And I introduce myself and I meet other guys and like, Allah, where I stood, that group is to, in that group we now call ourselves chauffeur. That's where I met a guy called Dr. Wasuna, who was Helima's best friend, best friend's husband, who still is. And I met a lady called Mumbi, who is still a very good friend. I met Alice Wambua, also still a very good friend, and Patrick Wambua, good friends. So we are standing and we are talking, and they're like, hey, what do you do? And I'm like, I do investment. And like, hey, boss, and you need to tell us about investment. We spoke a little bit about it, and like, hey, we need a real sitting. So like, we need to meet. How do we do this? They say, Helima can coordinate with you. I'm like, the same lady that I met there, now they're like, you need to. So we exchange contacts with Helima. She says, we'll talk during the week. She started calling me now to plan for an investment meeting. And it was just not, we couldn't settle on a date. But as we are talking, we're getting to know each other.
Yeah.
And I learned something that she really knew the scriptures. And that to me was an aha moment. There was no scripture I would say she would not finish. Like, hey, who is this? I've never met anyone who is like this. So we ended up now.
You tuned up with scriptures. For God so loved the world that he gave it. Okay.
So that was interesting because the common thing we had now was scriptures.
Yes.
And we agreed. Now I'm the one who's driving this. I'm like, why don't we challenge each other to memorizing scriptures? I need to know scriptures.
For real?
Yes. So, and she was like, I'm game. Say, where do you start? Psalm 1. So she would go, she would memorize Psalm 1, I would memorize Psalm 1, and then we call each other out of the blues and say, Psalm 1.
No way.
When I say Psalm 1, she recites Psalm 1. When she calls me and she says Psalm 1, I recite Psalm 1.
Hold on. You've not met again since that day?
No, it was now. This is just phone calls.
These are phone calls.
These are phone calls.
So this is pre-WhatsApp.
Yeah, pre-WhatsApp.
Yes.
And man, I started loving these scriptures. Before I used to read the Bible, but I didn't have the scriptures on my fingertips. But now I'm learning to get the scriptures in my heart. And this girl is really pushing. And she's really motivating me. I'm like, wow. I was enjoying until I realized whenever I see a good scripture, whom do I think?
Helima.
I knew something is happening in my heart.
But that's crazy. Your lens. Remember what you were just telling us?
Yes.
This lens of yours to families through God.
Yes. So
you would see scripture and you think of Helima.
Yes.
When you see a good scripture.
Yes.
So, bro, that's crazy.
So I think something is changing in my heart. So I was like, hey, this is not how I wanted to start a relationship. So I stopped scriptures. I disappeared.
You bounced?
I bounced.
So that means you're not answering her phone calls or what?
Now I'm avoiding this whole scripture thing because my heart is going. Because that's not how I had prayed to God. As in my view, I was falling in love. I needed a break. She was a great person, an amazing person, but this thing was
it's interfering with your life plans.
It's interfering with me.
No, but I'm trying to figure out why did you run away? Why?
I needed to think through.
Oh, were you scared?
No, I need to be conscious.
Oh, it caught you unaware.
Yes.
The feeling.
Yes.
You're falling in love. You're like, hey, this wasn't part of my plan.
Yeah, we were supposed to do scriptures, but this is going somewhere. And also, I felt it was also doing the same on the other side. And what if it doesn't end the way she would want it? You get, I would be misleading her. So I was like, okay.
And for the record, you've not seen each other again from that day?
We just talk on phone.
Okay, sir.
We just talk on phone. But now it's very intense. So I took a break. Even me, it was hard to take a break. I could tell even on her on the other side, it was hurting her. Because she couldn't explain why this person has just gone AWOL. And I just enter into that kind of quiet season. And I'm on my own. I was living, where was I living then? I was living in South B. And this friend of mine calls me in a guy we were in campus with. So he knew the you remember the lady who took me to salvation?
Yes.
So he's like, Pius, how are you doing? How is your family? I'm like, my family? You mean my mom and my dad? They are okay. He's like, no, your wife and children. Now we're in our 30s.
Oh, he's thinking you
get. So I tell him, boss, me, I'm not married. Like, Pius, you are such an amazing guy. What are you doing still single? He was so in shock, he put the phone down.
He thought that you were married to your ex.
Yes.
Because probably he saw photos, she's moved on.
Yeah. So, anyway, he called me shortly after. Hey, Pius, you know what? I know someone that I would like you to meet. And I'm like, are you trying to set up a blind date? He said, yes. I said, I don't do blind dates. He's like, no, you just meet this person. He's a really nice person. With your personality, just try. So I said, I can only meet someone on one condition. No expectation, just a friend. So we met April 12, 2009. So we met. I had zero expectation. I felt I was more pushed to do it, but I didn't want to disappoint a friend. So we met. We had an amazing time. I like, wow, this is an amazing person. The way he saw it, it was true. Our personalities were very compatible. So after that, now I have a car. I dropped her at their place, and then I started driving down Oyakiwe. I'm coming now to my house, and I'm in the car, and I'm like, God, I have never prayed to you for a wife. Is she the one? That was my question. Is she the one? You see how I have a way of asking God questions.
Yes.
Out of nowhere, is she the one? Because it was a very interesting meeting, you know. I didn't promise her anything, but I could see even her. She was like, "Hey, boss, there's a lot of potential here."
Yes.
Yeah. So I just asked God, is she the one? The following morning, I woke up, 13th of April, 2009, and I'm doing my devotion, and I just hear so loud in my spirit, she is not the one. She is not the one. Let me tell you, up to now, you've not heard me say, God spoke to me. I was not those guys who say, God has spoken to me. But this question I asked God, he took it so seriously that he was literally speaking to me now. So,
first of all, it's so powerful that you bothered to go to him and ask.
Yes.
Because you're saying the date went well.
Yes.
Everything went well.
Yes.
So if you didn't go back to this lens of God, the outcome could have been differently. From what you experienced, it was amazing.
Anyway, for 6 months, this lady would try to call me. I would not be available. I would try to return her calls. She would not be available.
What?
6 months.
From the date, 6 months, it was tag full.
Yeah.
Phone tag.
We never, no phone call ever went through.
Man. Hold on. 6 months. Let me go back.
6 months.
2 weeks. Even 2 weeks is too much. 3 days, I'd understand.
6 months.
Okay.
So I knew this is true. But I had the answer. She's not the one. But this proved to me. So I never really tried to push it. You know?
And Helima, nothing.
So now, the same day God tells me she's not the one, God just gave me a revelation of how I'll receive my wife, how I will know who is my wife. That was a crazy thing, because I was writing and I did not know where it was coming from. I wrote, it's all in my journals. I wrote and wrote and wrote. I'm like, what? God, this is how I'll know who I will marry. Yes. That was April, that's why I can remember the date, April 13th, 2009. The first thing that, the first sign God gave me, it was fulfilled that evening in Halima's house. And I came back in disbelief and I wrote on my journal, God, this can't be true. It is a coincidence.
Hold on. Okay. What do you mean it happened in Halima's house?
It happened in Halima's house. There's something God said, I'll reveal, yes. I'll reveal to you. There's someone you'll ask something to do something for you and she will go over and above. It happened in Helima's house
Okay.
that evening. So that was my first sign.
But that means, you know why you've left us in this
Yes.
epic story.
Yeah, the 6 months.
You've left us where Helima,
Yes.
I understand the 6 months with this
Yes.
new
No, we've
person.
had a quiet period with Helima.
Yeah, so Helima, you've in fact been lingering.
Yes.
Because of you didn't want to.
We're still friends. By the
Oh,
way,
but you're still friends.
We're still friends.
But you're not
We
doing the
even-
scripture thing.
We're not doing scripture. The only thing we're doing is scripture
okay,
thing.
okay.
Yes. In fact, we used to meet somewhere in my house. We used to do every last Friday of the month.
Mhm.
We had a lot of young guys coming to our house, my house where I was living.
Mhm.
And we would kesha, singing, praying.
Oh, Helima with other people.
And so Helima was one of them.
Okay.
All of us,
And when you'd see her, would those feelings return?
And first of all, now I know Helima is such a woman of God.
Mm.
And for me, part of my caution was I did not want to do something rushed that would destroy both her life and my life. So it was out of abundance of caution.
But the feelings, did they go?
No, I mean,
Or you suppressed them?
I've suppressed them. And it was very clear that was God's way of doing it.
Okay.
We just need to not to get involved in anything.
I get it. Okay.
And I understand now, when I looked back, God wanted it to be from Him, not from us.
Okay, makes sense.
So anyway, so a number of things, God did so many things from that day of 13th of April. It was one thing after another, after another, after another, after another.
That is confirming to you that Helima is the one. But you're not communicating to her.
No.
You just took cashiering with one eye open.
In fact, I'm like, God, what kind of prayer does this girl pray? Because this is unbelievable. I remember there was one time I went, we were invited for fellowship somewhere in Westlands. And we're in this house, so many people seated in the sitting room, and there's this man of God who is preaching in the middle, and he says, "A young man, stand up." And he says, God says, the one in your mind is the one. The one you've been thinking is the one. I mean, it was crazy. It was so crazy. There was one, again, the same man of God said, he's called Reverend John Taylor. He said, tonight, God says tonight He will make it very clear, crystal clear, who she is.
He's telling you this in front of everyone?
In front of everyone. Tonight. Not any other night. Tonight. In fact, everybody started saying tonight. Everybody said tonight. Everybody just tonight. Someone would see me say tonight.